Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot coming at you with the weekly comic book roundup. We've covered this week's X-Men books, well, Krakoan X-Men books already, and now it's time to keep the roundup going on with Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty, number 13, continuing the Cold War crossover between Captain America: Sentinel of Liberty and Captain America: Symbol of Truth. In the last, I believe it was Symbol of Truth number 13, Cap and Cap duked it out, and it seemed that, Steve had been knocked on his ass. Not in part because of, but largely because of the actions of White Wolf. So the issue begins with White Wolf and Bucky talking, and Bucky explaining that, yeah, okay, Steve Rogers is down, but he's not dead. He'll get back. And the Zola DNA, the DNA that was injected into White Wolf, is beginning to manifest itself and giving him more canine features. But as Bucky explains to White Wolf that, yeah, Cap's not dead. Cap might be down, but he's not. He's far from out. Steve reflects on everything, the fight he just had with Falcon, his past in general, and gets back up. As Sam returns to Misty and Sharon, and, well, there's an avalanche coming. But Steve and Sam are reunited, and Steve apologizes. And adding that this year's been tough, and it's been really easy to feel alone. And he apologizes for taking Sam for granted. And the next time that Sam has something Steve needs to hear, Steve promises he'll listen to Captain America. But and I'm glad. I'm honestly glad about that. Even though there were, I stated with the last part of the story, most recent part of the story, that yeah, okay, it does make, it doesn't feel like one of those idiotic forced fights between heroes. It was still kind of. I would have preferred there not have been a Cap versus Cap fight. Bucky contacts the Power and the Money, and basically then he calls to watch them sweat. As it appears they both the Money and the Power want Neganite, which, well, currently Bucky has all the world's supply, controls the world's supply of. Peggy and Black Widow argue a bit, talking about their past, with Nat trying to somewhat reach out to Peggy, but as Cap, Misty, and Sharon make their way through Zolandia, White Wolf is changing, taking on a more his hands becoming claws. Basically, he's now, well, a wolfman. And he orders his troops out and says that they're going to need more wolves. And that is where the issue ends, leading up to next, I believe, this month's upcoming Omega one-shot to wrap up the crossover. The crossover, and like I said, I'm glad that well, I'm not entirely fond of the fact that we had a fight between Cap and Cap in the last part of the story. I'm glad that it isn't leading to simmering hard feelings between the two of them going forward. But this has been a solid Captain America run. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Daredevil number 12. Where we left off, the fist had fallen. With the exception of Matt Murdock, they were pretty much all in custody of a government organization that had the pull to call in Avengers. Shield doesn't exist, so not Shield. But they arrive at a port, and the various super criminals that Daredevil freed from the Myrmidon are allowed to go free. And given the advice of don't give them a reason to take you in again. In Japan, Daredevil, Matt, comes upon Blind Spot. The two of them duke it out. Apparently, Blind Spot explains that it's kind of been Stick told him years ago that his curse is to defend the referred to the Siege Infernal. And if the Beast tries to walk the earth, well, Blind Spot's to kill the Beast. Matt relieves him of his burden. Elektra comes to Matt. And he tells her his plan, that he intends to die, and he intends to sacrifice himself to destroy the Beast. They fight, and in the end, Elektra kills Matt. He wakes in the Beast's realm. Faced by his father. He said that, explaining that he's probably in hell because his final sin, because of the final sin, the sin of pride. Couldn't let his son see him take the fall. Matt travels deeper into the underworld. As he does so, his costume goes from being the red costume we're used to with Daredevil to a white costume. That is where the issue ends. I know Daredevil is actually coming to an end soon. I'm reminded in some respects of Jason Aaron's run on Thor, how basically War of the Realms was supposed to be kind of like the big conclusion, and then it's just like, oh, by the way, yeah, here's 12 issues of Thor. Here's a 12 issue long Thor series by Aaron, and then Donny Cates took over. Anyways, but this has been a good run, and hey, if you're gonna ape someone's ape how someone's there's a book, there are worse books to do that with. Moving on though to our next book, we have Fury number 1. So this is an interesting one-shot celebrating the 60th anniversary of Nick Fury in Marvel Comics. While yes, Nick Fury has history as a character, has history dating back to World War II, and he does seem like he would have been around in World War II comics. He was not. The Howling Commandos were retconned into Marvel characters' involvement in World War II during the Silver Age. So it is interesting to note that going by the points in the history of Nick Fury Sr., that is, that are that don't get slid on the time scale because they're actual historical events. I think technically, I think in all honesty, either this year or next year would be uh, Nick Fury would be celebrating his 100th birthday, though it may have been last year. Anyway, so this is actually interestingly done. We first off we've got a framing story, so to speak, featuring Nick Fury Jr. breaking into a the storage facility known as the Lockbox. It's for dangerous extra normal items. While there, he discovers an operative named Scorpio is en route. But Nick hits a dead drop in New York. But he kind of rigged the game in his favor with at the Lockbox by having a squad of Fury LMDs. But Fury fights Scorpio, and she steals her prize, the Zodiac Key, which also allows her to escape. An hour later, at one of Fury's safe houses, well, Fury looks over the Fury files. His father fighting another Scorpio on the moon back in the 60s. Ending up in the Watcher Citadel while doing so. But Fury and Scorpio's fight is stopped by the Watcher, though Scorpio escapes. Then there's another tale from Fury's Cal Commando days. Again, finding the Zodiac Key. But the key disappears, and one of Fury's comrades in arms is when the key disappears, well, dude dies. Holding the key was keeping him alive, basically. On the moon, in the present, Nick Fury Sr., while talking to his boss, the Watcher, fights Scorpio. He's looking to take him down, but Junior shows up, having cloaked himself. Junior manages to take the Zodiac Key from Scorpio. Learns a bit about the Doors of Tomorrow, but when all's said and done, Nick opens a doorway in the Watcher Citadel with Zodiac Key. Goes through it. Basically, he's going on vacation. Kind of he doesn't like being on his own Earth. It doesn't. That's not working for him. But the Watcher and Nick Fury Jr. talk about things, and he's going to we'll just say that the Watcher suggests that perhaps an organization to shield Earth from its various problems, while Fury's offered the position of Man of the Wall, as his father had. Fury points out that most of the biggest threats to Earth are terrestrial. And so, Fury heads back to Earth, presumably to restart S.H.I.E.L.D. And that is where the issue ends. This was I like this one shot. The multiple creative teams, or at least artistic teams, helped. Adam Kubert drawing the World War II section, and making it clear that his style is very clearly influenced by his father, late Joe Kubert. It was a good read. It's always nice to see Fury kicking around. If S.H.I.E.L.D. gets restarted, that'd be great, because it'd be nice to see Fury more often, even if it is in a quasi-antagonistic role. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Hellcat, number 3. Where we left off, Patsy went to talk with her former best friend, Hetty, and got shot. We open with a flashback to her teenage years. Her dad returned after years. This flashback is kind of carried over throughout the issue. But the bunny possessed by Damien Hellstrom, Patsy ends up back in hell, and the bunny possessed by Damien Hellstrom basically tells her, hey, you don't have to stay. She gets back up, deals with the cops, starts asking questions, and then we have another flashback. Her late boyfriend, Spalding Grantham, taking a picture of her by a fireplace. In the present, Sleepwalker, who's investigating the whole thing, goes after running Blackheart at the Point Bonita lighthouse. Patsy arrives, and her presence unnerves Blackheart. We also get another flashback to her childhood. Earlier flashback in the series revealed she was writing term papers for people in high school, and she helped a coworker she gave a coworker of hers a term paper, and but he got found out. But because of that term paper, it was assumed he was doing the whole thing, and so she decided she's going to take the fall. Tells her principal about it, and apparently her mom calls and basically says, "Hey, if you actually follow through with disciplining Patsy for this, well, maybe the school booster club won't be getting a donation from me anymore." In fact, I was considering even increasing my donation, but I mean, if there's no need to. In the present, we learned that Spalding is a devotee of Blackheart and Mephisto, but he was building an exile gate. Basically, if something goes through it, it can never return to either the realm of the living or the realm of the dead. And so later, Patsy digs up Spalding's camera, and she finds the picture, develops the film he had in it, while talking with Rick, and bringing up that she found that she got Sleepwalker's imaginator with where Spalding was killed. Rick talks to Sleepwalker about it, and Rick admits that when he sees Patsy through Sleepwalker's eyes, he sees something different, and that he finds alluring. And Sleepwalker tells Rick, yes, he does see something different, but he doesn't find it alluring. He finds it frightening. The picture that Spaulding took of Patsy has developed, and appears to be her, but hellfire crackling from around her body. She talks to Damien about this. The flashback with her father. He had after he left, years later, he came back wanted to talk to his daughter and trying to get her to come back to live with him. And he found God, and she laughed in his face. But we have another flashback. Apparently, while working on the Exile Gate, Spaulding had a visitor, the stuffed rabbit possessed by Damien Hellstrom. And that is where the issue ends. This series is definitely taking some interesting turns. I'm digging it. I really am. But it'll be interesting to maybe at the end see the whole picture and go, oh, that's how this fits. All fits together. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Invincible Iron Man number 7. Fei Long has taken control of Stark Industries. As Fei Long is one of the leaders of Orcus, well, he is of course utilizing Iron Man technology, which he now owns, and is to build Sentinels. An idea that absolutely sickens Tony. So, outside of Amarillo, Texas, Tony and Rhodey are at a Stark Industries plant. Plan being to destroy the Sentinel plant. Iron Man shows up, shoots the place up a bit, tells everyone to get out. But one of the Sentinels comes online and fights Iron Man. Meanwhile, Iron Man in a new stealth suit, Rhodey's in the red and gold, is trying to get as much information from the Sentinel's programming as possible. Learning that apparently Fei Long is not. While, yes, Orcus does want to destroy mutants, well, that's just step 1. Step 2 is the rest of the superhumans. But the plant blows up around the time, and while around the time that Rhodey is switching armors, though, another Sentinel blasts his location, and Rhodey's apprehended by local authorities. The next day, Dr. Stasis, Fei Long, and Nimrod arrive at the scene. And while they won't be able to pull off their full plan in time at the same time as the Hellfire Gala, they'll still have enough Sentinels to make a scene. And one of the Nimrod kills one of the workers who evacuated. And later, Tony gets a call calls Jen and figure out how, to see about getting Rhodey out of jail. However, Rhodey's not being bail has been denied, and on account of the fact of a dead body having been found. Tony, in his despair, starts beating the hell out of his armor until he can't feel his hands anymore. And that is where the issue ends. Yeah, things are definitely heating up with Iron Man, especially the lead up to the Hellfire Gala. So let's see how everything plays out. Moving on, though, to our last book for the moment, we have Thor, number 34. Where we left off, we see what appears to be Doom's capture of Hela. Lausa, fully grown, joins her brother Thor at Bor's vault in Niflheim, in the present. In the past, a warrior bonds with a wolf, and at the same time, Thanos tries to complete a ritual that Bor tried, which revolves with sacrificing a child. Doom shows up, as do Thor and Lausa. Doom and Thanos fight, with Thor stepping in on the side of Doom. In Broxton, baby Lausa is being seen to by some of the Valkyries. Jane Foster has found the missing dead from the various realms, or from the various afterlives. Thor and Thanos continue their battle, though Doom saves the baby girl, and basically takes over fighting Thanos as the two of them tumble into a portal. The young girl grows at an astonishing rate, and Lausa defends her. Lausa meets her grandfather Bor. Thor and Bor butt heads a bit. While this is going on, in the afterlife, Bor is telling Odin about his meeting with Thor and everything he saw. In Jotunheim, where Thor, Lausa, and the young goddess, in fact, have retreated, they come to a specific point where apparently, and the young goddess is revealed to be Hela, and Thor informs her that her father is down there, Loki, trying to get one over on the Frost Giants. And that is where the issue ends. I think we're actually building up towards the end of this run. I know that I think in August we're getting a new Thor book, in Immortal Thor. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.